The truth behind the icon. There are moments I wonder, am I playing tennis because of passion or because people expect me to win? That's what Coco Gauff once confessed in a live stream deleted in less than an hour. The clip was never re-uploaded. But for those who saw it, it was the first time they witnessed a Gen Z star crying over the pressure she carried, not on the court, but in her own bedroom after a victory. Coco Gauff is not just America's new hope. She is the icon of youth placed under a global microscope, simultaneously hailed as the next Serena, yet besieged by expectations, multi-million-dollar contracts, and a grueling schedule that leaves her without a genuine 48-hour break. This video is not about aces or Grand Slam titles. It's a look behind the glamour. A multi-million-dollar mansion in Florida, a place no reporter has ever entered, but where Coco confronts herself after every match. This house is not just a retreat. It's where she learned to stand firm, to love herself again, and to overcome the crisis that the media inadvertently created. Did you know, after winning the US Open 2023, instead of partying, Coco rejected all invitations to go home, turn off her phone, and lie silently on the floor for 3 hours? Not because of pain, but because of emotional paralysis. This is the part the news headlines don't mention. But this video will. Additionally, we will trace the path of her $37 million fortune, the brand she holds a stake in, and the private relationship with an actor/rapper. The only person who ever caused Coco to cancel a press conference just to see him. And if you think you know everything about Coco Gauff, wait until minute 14. The truth revealed in that segment will make you completely re-evaluate how the media constructs a young icon. Subscribe now to the Pro Tennis 360 channel if you want to explore the dark side of glory, where pressure and success are sometimes separated only by a slightly ajar bedroom door. From a girl in front of the screen to Serena's heir. Before the world knew Coco Gauff, the 15-year-old who defeated Venus Williams at Wimbledon, she was a child sitting silently in front of the TV. At just 5 years old, Coco watched Serena Williams win the Australian Open and made a simple statement that sent chills down her mother's spine. I'm going to do what she does. Not want to, but will. A firm declaration from a child who had never held a racket. 3 months later, the family began systematic training planning. Her father, a former college basketball player, quit his finance job to become her full-time coach. Her mother, a middle school teacher, quit teaching to homeschool her. By the time Coco was 8, the family left Atlanta, moving to Delray Beach, Florida, home to the best tennis academy in the state. The sacrifice was total, but it wasn't always easy to stomach. She once asked for a week off because her friends were having a birthday party at the park. Coco's mother recounted, but her father cut the Wi-Fi for 3 days as a warning. He said, "When you win a Grand Slam, you can throw your own party." That moment was never in the documentaries. But it was a turning point, where Coco's childhood was officially replaced by a professional schedule. At age 10, Coco was awarded a scholarship to the Miradoglou Academy, Serena Williams' training ground in France. The press then called her Little Serena, but the reality was far different. Coco often suffered from insomnia, fearing the night because her mother wasn't nearby. She wouldn't cry during the day, but every night she'd turn on FaceTime and cry in the bathroom, an academy assistant recalled. She once wrote a handwritten letter asking to go home, but her family refused. There is a scar in every legend's journey. And for Coco, it didn't come from the court, but from the dormitory hallway where she began to understand. Success is not allowed to be tied to emotion. That's when the name Coco Gauff was no longer just a junior player. It was a project, a promise, a mission she was not allowed to abandon, even if, at times, all she truly needed was a day to be a child. And then, at age 12, a shock happened that made the tennis world pause and notice Coco for the first time. But that's a story for the next segment. When the entire tennis world looked up. Summer 2017, at the US Open Junior Tournament, a 13-year-old Black American girl went straight to the final, where her opponent was Amanda Anisimova, the player expected to succeed Maria Sharapova. That match wasn't about winning. It was the first time the world saw Coco Gauff not afraid of the spotlight, not afraid of expectations, not afraid to be Serena's replacement. Despite a narrow loss, Coco walked off the court with the gaze of someone who knew, next time I will win. And she did. The following year, 2018, she was crowned French Open Junior champion, becoming the U18 world number 1 at just 14. But the thing that truly stunned the media wasn't the trophy. It was how she spoke after the match. Not a tear, not an excited laugh. I still didn't play very well, she said. At that moment, people began to question, was Coco enjoying the victory or enduring it? In 2019, Coco entered Wimbledon as the youngest player ever to qualify. And her debut match was another media shock. She faced Venus Williams herself. All eyes turned to center court. 3 sets, a convincing victory, and an image went down in history. Coco, 15, bowing her head in gratitude to Venus, the woman whose poster she once had on her bedroom wall. But few know, behind the post-match smile, Coco had to fight a panic attack that lasted all night. I didn't sleep. I kept feeling like I was dreaming. Then I was afraid I had just ruined something, she later recounted. For the first time, Coco understood the feeling of winning, and still feeling empty. The media called her a phenomenon. Brands poured in like a storm, New Balance, Barilla, Rolex. But Coco's team maintained a single philosophy. Everything must serve the career. She was not allowed to become intoxicated by glory. You think a championship is the peak? For Coco, it was just a checkpoint. And when the Real title came at the US Open 2023, it didn't bring what she had dreamed of. Because it was there that a profound doubt began to appear within her, one that would stun America in the next part. US Open 2023, when winning wasn't enough. The day Coco Gauff defeated Aryna Sabalenka at the US Open 2023, millions of Americans jumped up in front of their screens. A glorious moment. Her first Grand Slam victory at age 19, in the very arena where Serena made history. TV called her the new queen. The President of the United States sent congratulations. But in the locker room, there was only silence. She sat still, with a towel over her head for nearly 15 minutes. No tears, no laughter, not a word, a backstage staff member recounted. When asked after the match, Coco only said, "I'm tired." Not physically tired, but mentally exhausted. After more than a decade living as a sports project instead of a growing teenager. The following month, Coco declined 3 major talk shows, including Jimmy Fallon. The reason? I want to go home. She returned to Boone Beach, isolating herself in her mansion for 12 days, posting nothing on social media, not leaving the house. I need to disconnect to remember who I am, she wrote in a brief note on her Instagram story. A story that disappeared in exactly 5 minutes. That quiet period turned out to be the turning point. When she returned to the court, Coco didn't just play better. She played like someone who had chosen herself again. The French Open 2025 was proof. A cool, calculated victory. No shouting needed. No dramatic celebration. She's not a younger version of Serena. She's a whole new kind of power, Billie Jean King commented. Yet, in a post-match press conference when asked, "Do you feel good enough now?" Coco paused for a long time before replying, "I don't know. I just know I'm not afraid anymore." That moment was cut from the official broadcast, but the backstage camera recorded it. And that clip, leaked a week later, spread across Twitter like a slap in the face to the sports industry. They had created a champion, but forgot to ask if she was allowed to be happy. What else has Coco not revealed about that journey? The answer lies inside her mansion, which was once a sanctuary, and now stands as a symbol of the autonomy of the Gen Z generation. We will step inside now. When the entire tennis world looked up, summer 2017, at the US Open Junior Tournament, a 13-year-old Black American girl went straight to the final, where her opponent was Amanda Anisimova, the player expected to succeed Maria Sharapova. That match wasn't about winning. It was the first time the world saw Coco Gauff not afraid of the spotlight, not afraid of expectations, not afraid to be Serena's replacement. Despite a narrow loss, Coco walked off the court with the gaze of someone who knew, next time I will win. And she did. The following year, 2018, she was crowned French Open Junior champion, becoming the U18 world number 1 at just 14. But the thing that truly stunned the media wasn't the trophy. It was how she spoke after the match. Not a tear, not an excited laugh. "I still didn't play very well," she said. At that moment, people began to question, was Coco enjoying the victory or enduring it? In 2019, Coco entered Wimbledon as the youngest player ever to qualify. And her debut match was another media shock. She faced Venus Williams herself. All eyes turned to center court. 3 sets, a convincing victory, and an image went down in history. Coco, 15, bowing her head in gratitude to Venus, the woman whose poster she once had on her bedroom wall. But behind the post-match smile, Coco had to fight a panic attack that lasted all night. "I didn't sleep. I kept feeling like I was dreaming. Then I was afraid I had just ruined something," she later recounted. For the first time, Coco understood the feeling of winning and still feeling empty. The media called her a phenomenon. Brands poured in like a storm, New Balance, Barilla, Rolex. But Coco's team maintained a single philosophy. Everything must serve the career. She was not allowed to become intoxicated by glory. You think a championship is the peak? For Coco, it was just a checkpoint. And when the Real title came at the US Open 2023, it didn't bring what she had dreamed of. Because it was there that a profound doubt began to appear within her, one that would stun America in the next part. The decision that froze the tennis world. In July 2025, while the WTA finals were in intense preparation, Coco Gauff unexpectedly posted a story with just 5 words. "Not this season. Not now." No official announcement. No press conference. No letter from the organizers. A cryptic message, but enough to rock the entire tennis industry. 3 hours later, the WTA confirmed Coco Gauff withdrew from all end-of-season tournaments. The reason was briefly stated: personal health and recovery. But the truth behind it was completely different. According to a close source from the management team, Coco had a private meeting with WME, her agency, and her mother to discuss a temporary withdrawal from the professional tour. Not due to injury, but because she needed to regain the feeling of control. She said, "I need to live a little, not just exist on a schedule," a family member shared. And here is the twist. A week after that decision, Coco flew to Japan, not to compete, but to study. She quietly participated in a short retreat at a temple in Kyoto, where no one recognized her as a Grand Slam champion. For 10 days, she brought no phone, did not train, and had no media contact. Only meditation, reading, and handwriting. A note she left for the head monk. "Thank you for reminding me how silence can triumph over applause." Returning to the US, Coco refused all post-tournament talk show invitations, cut down on 60% of her promotional contracts, and only retained partners who allowed her to control the media message, including Microsoft, Naked Smoothies, and New Balance. The rest? She requested withdrawal from the campaigns. This decision sent shockwaves through the advertising world. One brand representative once said, "Who does she think she is, daring to refuse Rolex?" But for Coco, it was the first time she didn't need permission to have peace. And then, just as everyone thought Coco was retreating, she appeared somewhere no one expected. A college course on sports psychology as a student. Is this a hint that she is preparing for a new chapter, where titles are no longer the goal, but just a byproduct? Gen Z's hero, who doesn't want to be an icon. Without even trying, Coco Gauff became the representative of the Gen Z generation. Bold, strong personal consciousness, ready to say no to others' expectations. But the paradox is, she herself constantly wonders, does she truly want to be an icon? At age 21, Coco has appeared on prestigious magazine covers, Vogue, Time, Rolling Stone. But unlike the superstars before her, Coco's image is never opulent. No elaborate dresses, no heavy makeup, no queen of the court persona. Only a hoodie, simple braids, and a deep gaze as if she's still contemplating something. "I don't want to be on the cover because I won. I want to be on it because I have something to say," she once declared. And she has indeed spoken. Not with a megaphone, but with actions. Coco is one of the first athletes to publicly fund scholarships for Black students, not through PR, but by donating directly via the United Negro College Fund. In 2023, she contributed $100,000 to the program. "I was once sponsored to pursue my dream. Now it's my turn to give back," she wrote in an email to the selected students. In addition, Coco personally undertook the renovation of the tennis park in Delray Beach, where she practiced as a child. Her name does not appear on the sign, but every brick is inscribed with the phrase, "For the next dreamers." No one asked her to do it, but Coco doesn't need reminders about responsibility. And then in 2025, an unexpected campaign exploded on TikTok. Many young people posted videos sharing their Coco moment, the moment they gave up what others expected to live authentically. One viral clip had the caption, "I quit pre-med. I started a band. Thanks, Coco." Underneath, Coco commented with just 3 words, "Live your serve." Success off the court is sometimes worth more than any title. But the question remains, can Coco balance both cultural influence and her playing career? Or will she have to choose fame, pressure, and life after the spotlight? Despite always being private, one aspect of Coco Gauff's life continually intrigues the public: her love life. Unlike famous couples who appear on the red carpet or showcase photos on Instagram, Coco and her boyfriend Jalen, an aspiring rapper and actor, keep everything private. They were first spotted at a concert in Miami, where Coco sat backstage, without a bodyguard, no makeup. When asked about the relationship, she only replied, "I want one part of my life not to be analyzed." And indeed, no official photos have been released, except for a 7-second video Coco posted on her story. 2 hands holding each other, faces unseen, with the caption, "1 year." That silence only fueled fan curiosity. Some supported it. This is a healthy way to live. Others were skeptical. Is something being hidden? There were even conspiracy theories that the relationship was just to distract the media from pending contract negotiations. But for Coco, keeping something for herself is not a strategy. It's a fundamental right she has to reclaim little by little. From age 15, she has lived by contract. From her diet to her bedtime, everything is monitored by experts. When she wins, she has to speak. When she loses, she has to explain. There is no room for youthful mistakes because her youth happens in front of millions of people. The strange thing is, it's in the silence that Coco seems to find herself again. No drama, no scandals, no need for clarification. Just a 21-year-old girl who still watches anime, still streams games, still meditates every morning, and still plays tennis when she wants to. And that is the detail that makes everything so enviable. Coco Gauff no longer needs to prove anything, because finally, she has regained the one thing every superstar loses: the right to live her own life. But there is one last thing that not many people know, even her loyal fans. A small detail once overlooked, but if properly understood, it can completely change the way you view Coco Gauff. The forgotten detail in the decisive serve. Everyone remembers the moment Coco Gauff defeated Aryna Sabalenka at the US Open 2023. A decisive serve, thunderous applause, and the image of Coco falling to her knees on the court. Most TV channels slowed down that scene, analyzing the tactics, praising her spirit. But there is one detail no one mentioned, a small gesture, lasting less than 2 seconds. After scoring the decisive point, as Sabalenka approached the net for the handshake, Coco gently bowed her head, not just the way players usually do, but a deep bow, almost a reverent gesture of thanks. That wasn't a reflex. It was something she had practiced for months before in the mindfulness meditation class in Kyoto. When you win, take one step back, the Zen master once taught. And Coco carried that lesson onto the court. The notable thing is, no media channel caught this. Most chose close-up shots of her face, missing the moment. It was only when a Japanese fan reposted the clip from the stands, filmed from a distance, low angle, that it became clear. The clip didn't go viral, didn't trend, but everyone who saw it said the same thing. That's Coco. No pretense. No demands. Just a child who knows how to bow at the right time. Perhaps that's why, despite earning over $37 million before age 22, Coco remains relatable. No colossal mansion tours on YouTube. No showing off luxury brands, no million-view parties. I could post photos of supercars, but I'm afraid young girls will think you need money to be loved, she said in a rare interview. And that detail, the 2-second bow, became a subtle symbol within Coco's fan community. Some even tattooed a symbol of a hand turned down on their wrists as a reminder, when you win, learn how to bow. That is what makes Coco Gauff not just loved, but respected. But it also raises a big question. In a world that glorifies exhibition, does humility still have a place? And if you think this was just a personal act, wait until you learn that very bow saved Coco from a media scandal that nearly ruined her career in early 2024. The scandal that never made the news. In early 2024, an anonymous clip circulated among an internal group of American sports media. The content? A secretly recorded conversation between Coco and a major sponsor, in which she flatly refused a clause to appear at a fashion event due to a lack of racial diversity in the creative team. The quote was clearly recorded. "I don't want to be the face of a product that wasn't built by people who look like me." The clip was never officially released, but it almost leaked, and if it had, it could have been twisted into a discriminatory statement. A media director once revealed, if that segment got out, many people would think she was declaring war on the entire industry. But the reason the scandal never materialized is because Coco had built a rock-solid image. No scandals, no double talk, no reverse scandals. And especially after the US Open victory and the act of bowing, Coco's public sentiment was at its peak. A representative of the fashion house later had to issue a clarification, saying it was just a misunderstanding in internal communications. But to the media, everyone knew. Coco chose to remain silent. No rebuttal, no public defense, no turning the event into a focal point. She let it be, and the matter subsided as if it had never existed. This is not the first time Coco has escaped a scandal trap due to her composure. But this time, the media learned a lesson. You cannot make a person who consistently acts correctly apologize for their genuine emotions. Since then, Coco has been more cautious in her partner choices. She demands ethical clauses in every contract. If a brand lacks sustainable policies or transparency regarding internal diversity, she refuses. No negotiation. In an industry where power often comes with pretense, Coco chose the rare path, power coupled with integrity. And that is what makes those who once only saw her as a copy of Serena start to think again. But the question remains, is that overly perfect image truly the real Coco? Or is it just a version built to survive in a world too harsh for young black women? The truth we might have misunderstood about Coco Gauff. Coco Gauff is not an upgraded version of Serena Williams. Nor is she the new queen of tennis that the media hastily labeled her. She is what the global sports industry was never ready to face, an athlete unwilling to play by the old rules. She doesn't live to meet expectations. She doesn't compete to keep contracts. She doesn't ask permission when she needs a break, doesn't smile because the camera is on, and doesn't wait until retirement to dare say what she thinks. And because of that, Coco Gauff is not just a good player. She is the embodiment of a generation redefining the concept of winning. A generation that believes you can succeed without sacrificing identity. You can be famous without losing privacy. And you can bow your head and still make the world look up. Perhaps one day, Coco will win 5, 10, or 15 more Grand Slams. She might also retire early, choosing a quiet life off the court. But whatever her choice, her journey has created something more important. A safe space where young people, especially young black women, can be complex, be contradictory, be transformative without having to apologize. Perhaps what makes Coco Gauff memorable does not lie in her achievements, but in the fact that she's one of the very few celebrities who makes us feel a little more comfortable looking at them. What do you think of Coco Gauff after this story? Where do you see yourself in the choices she had to make? Subscribe to the Pro Tennis 360 channel if you want to continue following real people, real stories, transcending highlights and scoreboards. Because sport is not just a game. It is how we learn about humanity, once again, through every serve.